Hey guys, welcome to Shep Talk and welcome to my review of The Crow from 2024. The Crow was directed by Rupert Sanders and was written by James O'Barr, Zach Balin, and William Joseph Snyder. The Crow stars Bill Skarsgård as Eric, FKA Twigs as Shelley, Danny Houston as Vincent, Josette Simon as Sophia, Laura Byrne as Marion, and Sammy Bollegia as Kronos. The Crow has a runtime of 1 hour and 51 minutes. Quick synopsis. After losing the love of his life, Eric is devastated and adrift. But when a mysterious force offers him a chance to bring her back, Eric is thrust into a battle against those responsible for her death. Ultimately, Eric must decide if the price of love is worth the ultimate sacrifice. There has been a lot of talk surrounding the remake of The Crow. There are a lot of people out there who have a deep love for the original, no matter the flaws it might have, and they believe that doing a remake is a disservice to the original. I am not one of those people. I did enjoy the original, but it doesn't hold that deep place for me. And I believe it would do a disservice to this movie to compare it to the older version. But when I saw the trailer for this movie, it did not get me excited. I wondered what the director was thinking about for the direction he was trying to take this movie. But no matter what, I was determined to give this movie a chance and see what it brought to the table. Now let us talk about the two main actors in this movie. First up, we have Bill Skarsgård, who once again kills it in this role. He wasn't perfect, but the man can deliver a performance and keep your eyes on the screen. He takes us on a journey as Eric, who at the beginning is lost and resides mainly in his mind, but when we see him opening up and becoming attached and having all that ripped away from him, and finally his journey of vengeance and bringing his love back to life, just gives us that performance that we know he can deliver and bring to the table. And then there is FKA Twigs, who I had never heard of before, but I will say I will be looking forward to her next on-screen performance. She brought forth this flower child's sweet innocence in her performance that whenever she was talking, I felt that I could sit there and listen to her for hours on end, no matter what the subject was. You knew she wasn't as innocent as she seemed, but just how she portrayed her character, you were on her side and wanted to believe in her. And then the cinematography was handled so well that even though you didn't know what city we were in, you felt that it was a lived-in city where there were those people that society had forgotten about or truly did not bother to notice them. And once we did get to the dark scenes of the city, we truly did feel like it came to life and was enveloping our protagonist while he was hunting down those who had hurt him in his love. Now for the soundtrack, I have mixed feelings on this, and it ties into some of my nitpicks. But I felt during the first act that the soundtrack was lacking and that it could have helped bring us further into this world and the whirlwind romance, but instead it didn't even feel like we had a soundtrack in the first act. It wasn't until we got into the second act and we started delving into the darker aspects that we got some great music to bring us forth into the movie. So the potential was there for the music to be a part of the movie, but it truly was a hit or miss. Then there was the action, and from the trailer, I knew this was what the movie was going to bank itself on, and it did not disappoint. Now, I will say if you are someone who doesn't like a lot of blood and gore, then these fights might not be your cup of tea because they are brutal and the director did not hold back in showing you the damage done to the bodies. But if you are someone who loves a brutal action scene, then you will enjoy the fights that are presented in this movie. Now let us get into some of my nitpicks. Now, I know above I sang the praises of our two main stars, Bill Skarsgård and FK Twigs, but the one thing that I just didn't get from both of them, was chemistry. At least not in the sense that these two were soulmates who fell in love at first sight and nothing else mattered in their world. What the movie gave us was almost like every other romantic movie, where our couples first meet, except in this movie, there isn't a happy ending for them. But I will say that there was a moment in the third act that truly had me feeling for Eric and Shelley and felt that they truly loved each other beyond life. I just wish we had gotten that feeling at the beginning of the movie more. Also, our final boss battle. Once again, I sang the praises about how the action scenes were bloody and gory, only to be let down by the big boss battle, or should I say the lack thereof. I know this bad guy was not the sort of guy to fight, but to use words and magics to get what he wished done. But after the workup that we got leading to him, I was expecting something with a little bit more punch. Pacing. I say this a lot about movies, and it continues to be a common thread with movies in 2024, but the pacing was all over the place. We spend the whole first act with Eric and Shelley falling in love with each other, and it just falls flat on his face and seems to waste too much time giving us that setup. The second act does pick up the pace as Eric is now set on the path of vengeance and has a clear goal in mind, but it could definitely use with being the pacing could have been done better. Overall, The Crow was a mess of a movie. It spent the first act trying to show us this love story, but the chemistry between the two characters never kindled. And Bill Skarsgård started to shine when he took on the mantle of the Crow and was out seeking vengeance on those who took his love from him. I think there were some shining moments in this movie that, if expanded upon, would have made this movie better. The third act had moments of greatness, but once again let us down when it finally came to the moment we were waiting for, and that was how Eric handled the man who was behind the death of his love. But guys, with all that being said, Shep Talk gives The Crow 2024 2 Sheps out of 5. That is all I have time for today, guys. Thank you for watching. If you haven't done so already, please remember to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. It does help my channel out greatly, and I do truly appreciate it. But like I said, that is all I have time for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next review.